Now, I was asking Bunny when her father got mad what he said. How he swore at home. And she admitted that sometimes he would say, Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. How many of you have heard that? Oh yeah, Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. So I heard it too. Sometimes you don't want to say that. Another way of swearing, has anybody heard, oh, Jeannie Mac? Anybody heard that one? No, you could have heard that. That's a way of not taking the Lord's name in vain, So anyhow, I asked my mother, he was like, how did you learn that expression? She says, I don't know, my mother used to say it. So okay, well, where did she learn it? Well, I suppose she learned it from her mother. And then she learned it from her mother. So maybe this was passed down through, the mothers all the way, perhaps all the way to Mother Mary herself, perhaps. So perhaps when, Jesus wasn't a perfect kid. Once in a while, she'd probably get frustrated with him. So what would she say to him? She'd say, you, me, and your uncle. Instead of Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. That went over your head there, no? Okay, well, I thought that was going to... All right, well, you know why we're here today, what we're celebrating, of course. A little early, but St. Patrick's Day. March 17th, they say. That's, But was it really March 17th? We celebrate Christmas on December 25th. And I think they have about a 1 in 365 chance that they have that date right. You really don't know. So there is a little bit of controversy about the proper date for St. Patrick's Day as well. And it goes back to a poem that was written by Samuel Lover in the 1830s about explaining the problem with the date. It was on the 8th day of March, some people say, that St. Patrick at midnight he first saw the day. While others declared 'twas the 9th he was born. It was all a mistake between midnight and morn. For mistakes will occur in a hurry and shocking. Some blame the baby and some blame the clock. So with all the cross questions, sure no one could know if the clock was too fast or the babe was too slow. Well, the first faction fight in old Ireland, they say, was all on account of St. Patrick's birthday. Some fought for the 8th. For the 9th, more would die. And who wouldn't see right? Sure, they blacken his eye. At last, both factions so positive grew that each kept a birthday. So Pat then had 2. Till Father Mulcahy, who showed them their sins, said, no one could have 2 birthdays, but twins. Boys, don't always be fighting for 8 or for 9. Don't always be dividing, but sometimes combine. Combine 8 with 9. Let 17 be the mark. Ho, ho, ho! Amen, says the cleric. And if he weren't twins, sure, our history will show that he was worth any 2 saints that we know. And then they all got blind, stinking drunk, which completed their bliss. And we keep up the practice from that day to this. That's the birth of St. Patrick. By Samuel Lover.
I want to just make one mention. As Jackson speaks, could we please give him our full attention and not talk while he's taking care of us?
Thank you, Terry.
It's appreciated.
Well, so we'll celebrate St. Patrick's Day a little bit earlier. So now, we keep up the practice from that day to this. Now, Irish are good drinking folks, and you know what their favorite lager is. What is it? What is a favorite? Oh, yeah, there we have the Guinness. Yeah, I was going to bring some for you, but I lost my willpower on it. Anyhow. So I'll tell you about how precious Guinness is to an Irishman. An Irishman and 2 other yokes went into a bar. He was with his friends, an Englishman, a Brit, and a Scot. And they each ordered a pint of Guinness. And it was delivered to them with a big frothy head on it. It was a draft, But wouldn't you know it, the Scot saw on the head of the beer there, in Guinness, there was a fly in the foam. And there's a fly in the foam of the Scots beer. In all 3 of the beers, there was a fly. So the Brit says, that's disgusting, get away from here. Yeah. The Scot sees the fly and he just flicks it off with his finger and throws it down. The Irishman picks up the fly right over his beard and says, spit it out, you little bugger. So to tell you more about, how precious Guinness is, here's a little ditty. Oh, the Guinness was spilled on the barroom floor. The pub was closed for the night. And out from his hole crept a wee brown mouse, and he sat in the pale moonlight. He licked up all the liquor from the barroom floor, and on his haunches he sat. And all night long you could hear him roar, bring on the golden cat. Well, the cat creeped out from behind the bar and gobbled up the wee brown mouse. And the moral of the story is, don't you ever be thinking you get away with having free Guinness on the house. Okay, well, these are stories of other people. I'll tell you about a story that happened to me one time. I was hitchhiking from Dundrum to Dublin. And it didn't start out raining, but boy, it sure, I got a ride halfway there, and the person who turned off left me in the middle of the boonies, and it started raining real hard, and it was cats and dogs, and it was cold, and there was no cars coming by. I was trenched to the bone. I thought I didn't know if I was going to survive, and there's no cars. It's not a fit right out for man or beast. And I'm hoping to see a car. I think I might die of hypothermia out there. And finally I see two lights coming. I think they're headlights. Or maybe it's an animal coming to get me. I started to get scared, but I see the two lights look like they're getting closer. And I figured as they got closer, they should be getting brighter, right? But they weren't. They were getting dimmer. They were getting bigger, but dimmer. This is weird. And I thought, well, this is my last chance. I got to get a ride. And it went slow enough by me. It didn't even stop, but slowed down enough that I could open the door and get inside. Oh, and I was out of the rain. Oh, thank God. Oh, God bless you, son. And there was no one in the driver's seat. Oh, I was scared. Is this a haunted car or what? But I was out of the rain. I was surviving. The car was moving really slowly, and I don't know what's going on here, but all of a sudden the car's going a little downhill a little bit, and it's picking up speed, and it's starting to head towards a rock embankment there. And it's like, oh my God, we're going to crash. And all of a sudden, just as I'm thinking, oh, curtains, I'm going to meet my maker, a hand comes through the open window of the driver's side, grabs the wheel, and turns it. And we missed. And I think, oh my God, this is a haunted car. I thought, I got to get out of here. Maybe there's some place to, oh, there's a light over there. A light. While the car was moving slow enough, I rolled out of the car and I made my way to this light. Is it a house? Oh, it was better than just a house. It was a public house. It was a pub. Oh, and I dragged my sorry self in there. Oh, drenched to the bone, freezing. They saw my condition. They took me right in. They put me at the bar. And they wrapped a blanket around me. They gave me a hot toddy. They brought me back to life. And they said, what happened to your son, boy, lad? What happened? And I told them what happened. And, they could see I wasn't drunk. I wasn't having my way with the fairies. I was crying. They believed me. And while I'm there recovering, the pub door opens and two other blokes come in there, and they're drenched to the bone just like I was, and they look at me, and they recognize me, and they say, that's the bloody idiot who jumped into our car while we were pushing it down the road. Okay. Well, I mentioned the town of Dundrum in that little ditty, and I think I'm going to tell you a little bit more about Dundrum. Oh, I long for misty memories of my youth in Dundrum town, and of strolling through the clover in the early morning dew, and I dreamed of dear old Dundrum and her hills of golden brown. But I am just a Jewish boy from Flatbushy Avenue. No, I'd never been to Dundrum, didn't know if it was real, but I dreamed of it on days when I had nothing else to do. So I learned to fake and pass and shoot and pitch and bunt and steal. I never was content to be from Flatbushy Avenue. So when I went off to school where no one knew me from before, I was glad to have the chance to clear my slate and start anew. So I changed my way of talking, and I changed the things I wore, hoping no one would suspect I was from Flatbush Avenue. But I sang a song of Dundrum that put tears in people's eyes, and through me they learned to love the place and long to be there too. I began to half forget the truth and half believe me lies, and I wondered if I really was from Flatbush Avenue. Well, there is a place called Dundrum, and 'twas there they heard me song, and though they did not remember me, they thought me words were true. They invited me to Dundrum, said, "Come back where you belong." But the passport people learned I was from. You help me out here. So when I arrived in Ireland, I was greeted by a crowd, and the sky above was smiling in a lovely shade of blue. When I saw the signs for Dundrum, I felt warm and safe and proud. Then I suddenly recalled I was from Well, folks from Dundrum greeted me and claimed me as their own. When they asked me where my house was, I did not know what to do. I decided then and there that I should let the truth be known, and I told them that I really was from. I told them that the world was just a dot upon the sky, and it really does depend upon your point of view. And the song I sang of Dundrum was not meant to be a lie, but my praises could as well apply to. Come on, you're the only one here of Flatbush Avenue. So if ever I am captured by a creature from afar, and they ask me of my homeland in a candid interview, I will tell them of a planet on a distant yellow star, and a street upon that planet known as Flatbush Avenue. Yeah. Okay. Okay. You're going to have to. Okay. So am I really from Flatbush Avenue? No, but my friend Bob Blue, who wrote that song, was from Brooklyn. Okay. There's some truth in that one. But let me go back to the Irish songs here, and I'll tell you about. Why Paddy's not at work today. Well, yeah. Dear Sir, I write this note to inform you of me plight. And at the time of this writing, I am not a pretty sight. My body is all black and blue, my faith's a deathly gray, and I write this note to explain why Paddy's not at work today. Well, while working on the 14th floor, some bricks I had to clear. To throw them off the top seemed the simplest idea. But the foreman wasn't very pleased. He was an awful sod. He said I had to carry them down the ladder in me hod. Well, clearing all the bricks by hand seemed so awful slow. So I hoisted up a barrel and secured it down below. And in my haste to do the job, I was too blind to see that a barrel full of building bricks is heavier than me. So when I untied the rope, the barrel fell like lead. And I took off and I clinging to the rope. I started up instead. I shot off like a rocket. and then to my dismay I found I met the bloody barrel coming halfway down. Oh, gee. Oh, well, the barrel broke my shoulder, and to the ground it sped. And when I reached the top, I pumped the pulley with me head. I held on tight, though none was shot from this almighty blow, and the barrel spilled half its load down 14 floors below. Now when the building bricks fell from the barrel to the floor, I then outweighed the barrel, so I started down once more. I held on tightly to the rope as I flew to the ground, and I landed on those building bricks that were scattered all around. Well, As I lay there groaning on the ground, I thought I'd passed the worst. But when the barrel reached the top, that's when the bottom burst. A shower of bricks rained down on me. And I knew I had no hope. And in all this confusion, I let go the bloody rope. Well, the barrel, now untethered, started down once more and landed right on top of me. As I lay upon the floor, it broke my 3 ribs in my left arm, and I can only say, I hope you'll understand why Patty's not at work today. Okay. Well, how many of you here are fans of country western music? Anybody fans of country? Oh, look, a lot of people here. Sometimes people are afraid to admit that. I don't know why. You know, like it's not cool or something. But I am a huge fan of that kind of music because I find more than any other music that you hear on the radio, they tell great stories. Don't they? In 3 minutes, you're listening to the story. That's why when I'm driving, I get so absorbed in some of the stories on the country radio station that sometimes I have to pull over. But the thing that confuses me a little bit about country western music is the term, country western. Maybe it had western roots, but where is the seat of country music today now in this country? And where, specifically? Nashville. And relatively, what side of the country is that on? Yeah. So I think there's a musical genre from the map, and I've taken it upon myself to fill it, so I'm going to start a whole musical genre called, for us people on the East Coast here, country... Eastern, of course. Now, the furthest eastern state in the country is what? Maine, and that's where I actually lived for a really long time, most of my adult life. So we're going to put this music right in Maine, and particularly in the northern part of Maine. And there's a county called Aroostook County. Anybody familiar with Aroostook County? Nobody. You are. Now, if you're from Maine, you don't call it Aroostook County. It takes up half the state, so you just call it the county. I'm not making that up. You narrate that, dear. That's right. It's the county. Okay, and they have, the reason I'm putting this in the show is because they have an agricultural crop, the same that they're famous for is Ireland. And what's that? Of course. So, now for the typical Aroostook County farmer growing potatoes, English is not their first language. This is true. They mostly speak Quebecois. You know, it's a version of French. And so there's going to be a little bilingualism in this song, but I think you'll be able to figure it out okay. And it's a love song. And so I'm going to sing it as if I was the Aroostook County farmer here, in his voice, and you'll see that I have other accents as well. Okay. And I think if there was a county eastern hit list, this would be the chart-busting song on it. I'm no slick cham, I'm just a simple fama, and I sure like to make things grow. One thing in specific, it sure ain't beatific, but it's one that you all know. It grows underground and it's more or less round. The skin is brown or red, but when you take a bite, the inside's white, and it keeps a lot of people fed. If you add what you eat, the spud'll make you sweet, and you can be sweet on me. And if you add what you grow, there's one thing I know, a spud is what I'm gonna be. I'm Mr. Potato Head, but you can call me Fred, and Wilma, my love is true. And if you'll be my missus, I'll even do the dishes, because I only have eyes for you. I'm not a chauvinistic pig, though I like to dig. Some people think I'm not too bright. I'm no dictator, only a commentator. Just like Walter Cronkite. You get it, commentator? I'm just a simple tuba. I ain't no goober. So will you meet me under the hill, holding you so tight all through the night? We'll keep away the evening chill. I like to reap what I sow. I'm good with a hoe. There's no point in being chased, because if the root ain't planted, I've heard it ranted that the furrow goes to waste. They say make hay while it shines. Well, the weather is fine, so quick before we're dead and gone. You got sweet tomatoes, I go find potatoes. Let's call the whole thing on. I live in a rustic. My lifestyle's rustic, but I know the finer things in life, and there's nothing better than this whenever we kiss, so please won't you be my wife? And with our marriage license in order, we'll cross the border dressed up as groom and bride. And when asked if you'll be, you'll chime, mais oui! And then we'll celebrate and get French fried. When we leave the county, I'll be your royal mountie, as they say en québécois. No need for ménage à toi. Encore une fois, toi et moi faisons vichyssoise. Ouh là là, c'est magnifique! Je suis une pomme de terre et je suis ton cher et je te dis ce que je voudrais faire. And for you Anglophiles who have to wait a while, nous faisons les bons temps roulés. And when we get back home, there's no need to roam. We'll keep the cupboard fully stashed. When you get the desire, I'll just light your fire. We'll kick back and just get mashed. And when it gets too hot, which it does a lot, to the root cellar will go down or stay up above and make sizzling love. And that's how we get hash browned. When I look in your eyes, something starts to rise. For you, I've always got the hots. As a farmer, I'm wise. As a hat, I fertilize. So come on, let's make tater tots. And as we age, we'll ferment and get all bent and maybe go deaf or blind. But to me, you're the most, so I'll raise this toast. We'll make vodka of the finest kind. They say make hay while it shines. Well, the weather is fine, so quick before we're dead and gone. You got sweet tomatoes, I go find potatoes. Let's call the whole thing on, 'cause I'm your potato head. But you can call me Fred, and Wilma, my love is true. And all I want to say until my dying day is, Dallin, this spud's for you. Okay. Well, isn't that a sweet love song? Yeah, from the rustic county, the county. All right. So now, I'm going to tell you a story that I learned from a fellow by the name of Dale Jarvis. And he had the most incredible job title that I've ever heard in my life. I'm going to give you his official job title. The Intangible Cultural Heritage Director of the Heritage Foundation of Labrador and Newfoundland. That was his official job title. I'm not making that up. I mean, if you were on an elevator and you were supposed to give your elevator speech about what your job is, you'd use up the whole time just to say, the Intangible Cultural Heritage Development Officer of the Heritage Foundation of Newfoundland and Labrador. But that really was his title. And I'm thinking this, intangible cultural heritage, what does that mean? Intangible, it's like you can't touch this job? What does that mean? Well, Dale explained it to me. There's tangible culture, things like architecture and sculpture and books, things you can touch, right? That's tangible culture. And then there's intangible culture, things like music and dance and folklore. So that was his realm. He was in charge of the intangible culture of his province. 2 provinces there. So every once in a while, Dale has occasion to preside over an event that combines both tangibles and intangibles. And it was coming up, this great celebration they were going to design, celebrating all the contributions of the Irish to Canada. And it was his decision where they were going to host this thing. And he did his homework. And there's a lot of Irish in Canada, but, thank you. Okay, and there's a lot of Irish in Canada, but where they're most concentrated is in one little community of Newfoundland on Fogo Island. Fogo Island. You probably think I'm making this up. I'm going to show you here. Here's a picture, a map of Fogo Island. And most of the residents on this little island are Brits, Englishmen, except for the one little community right there on the end of Tilting. That's the name of the town, Tilting. And in that community, ever since the 1700s, it's been Irish to the core. These 300 residents, Irish residents, have kept their culture intact, and they are one tight little community. So that is where the celebration is going to come, and they're going to unveil a plaque there. So that's the tangible part of this thing. So there's 300 people in this community. This is big, you know, and so they're all going to attend. But there's also going to be a lot of invited people from all over. There's going to be, you know, trade ministers from Ireland. There's going to be the ambassador from Ottawa. There's going to be the prime minister. There's going to be a lot of academics, there's a lot of politicians, a lot of really important people are coming to this thing, and they're going to swarm onto this little island, this little town of Tilting, which is just a windswept rock outcropping. There's nothing beyond this point except the raging sea and Greenland. That's how barren it is. So where are 100 more people on this island? Where are they all going to fit? They got to be inside for this ceremony. Well, the biggest place on the island is the sardine factory, but we're not going to have a fancy affair in a sardine factory. The best chance they have is the whole town of Tilting, the 300 residents, can fit into the church. And of course, it's a Roman Catholic church, it's all Irish. And who's the church named after, of course? Of course, St. Patrick. And sure enough, there is a big life-size statue on the sanctuary there of St. Patrick. And there's a pulpit over here, and whoa, so they're going to sardine all these people into this church here. Okay, they're going to fit. We're going to make do. So there's a lot of speeches are going to happen, and at the end of the ceremony is going to be the wonderful culmination is going to be the singing of the Ode to Newfoundland. And they have imported the finest choir possible to bring out this beautiful event. And that, of course, is the Fogo Island Elementary Girls Choir. So you got to picture this church. You know, it's a long church, and there's the pews all here, and here is the steps to the sanctuary, and there is the girls are going to be ringed around the back there in their pleated skirts and their pressed blouses there, and it's going to be this beautiful event. And the Ode to Newfoundland is such a powerful anthem that it's so full of rich history that grown men cry when they sing it. So this is going to be a beautiful ending to this thing. But the girls are going to sing the anthem and lead it. They know the anthem. But some of the people who are coming from other provinces might not know the Ode to Newfoundland. So the church secretary, in addition to putting out a program of all the sequence of events, she has seen fit, very smart, to print all the lyrics of the Ode to Newfoundland on the back. So everyone's got it. Now, you think you know our anthem, right? The Star Spangled Banner. You know the Star Spangled Banner? Yes. You think you do. You know what? You know one verse. There are 4 verses to the Star Spangled Banner. Nobody knows that. Well, the same thing with the Ode to Newfoundland has 4 verses, and everyone knows the first and the last verse, and they think that's all there is to it. But there are 4. And so all 4 verses are going to be printed out on the page for all the people from away to sing along with. And we can see that this is going to be there's going to be a problem here. When the girls start singing, leading this, can you see what's going to happen? Everybody's going to have their nose in here singing the second and third verse, and the girls who are up there, you know, leading this or don't have everybody came in with a program, except they didn't get the program because they know the anthem, they think they know the anthem, and this is going to be a train wreck. That already happens. It's going to be humiliating. There's going to be people taking there's going to be cameras. You're like, oh my God, it's going to be so embarrassing for these lovely girls. So now, one thing I have to tell you, this event, there's a lot of people packed in there, so they're going to have sound reinforcement, right? So the back of the church can hear the speeches. So Dale has found, he's asking around, who's a good sound man here that I can hire? Well, there's only one guy on the whole Fogo Island. And he's the guy who runs the bingo tournaments on Thursday nights, you know? So he's drafted to do this, and he must have inherited the same equipment that his grandfather used to use. So he's got, you know, these speakers, you know, not like these little speakers here. He's got tripods. The speakers that he has are like half the size of a refrigerator. They're huge, you know, in here. And he has this microphone that's like, look, from the old days, you know, that's big hung, it looks like a mace. And he's going to have to pick up the speeches from the pulpit over here, and also he wants the girls to be amplified here so he can reach the back of the hall. So he's got the same kind of gadget here, even though he has one mic, he has it on a boom. Instead of the mic being here, it's on a long arm that he can put in front of the pulpit here, and then when the speeches are over, he can swing it over in the back, over the altar, and pick up the sound of the girls. So he's got this pretty well covered here. And in order for everyone to see the girls, he has to figure out how to put those tripods of the mic stands on the steps of the going up to the sanctuary, and they just barely fit there, but he's got it. So I'm in this performing business quite a bit, and I get to see a lot of different sound people. And I found that there are basically two kinds of sound people in the business. There's the real professionals who are at their soundboard with our console, making sure everybody can hear. And they themselves are not seen. Everybody can hear, the sound person is not seen. They're like invisible. They just do their job. And then there's the other kind of sound person who wants everyone to know that they are the sound person. You know? And needless to say, Bingo Man is in the latter camp. So he wants everybody to know that he's always finding a reason to readjust things and everything and make his presence known. And so after the speeches are going fine and everybody can hear, he does his little trick there and he swings the boom mic in front of the middle of the sanctuary there for the girls to pick up, and they start singing this beautiful ode to Newfoundland, and they get through the first verse and they're about to launch into the second, but the sound man thinks that he can tweak something just a little bit here, and he goes up to readjust something, and in the process of doing that, he catches his foot on the cord of the speaker, and it yanks it enough so that extra inch on the edge of the seat, it started to pull this down. This big speaker is about to wipe out the front pew. It holds half a parliament there. And it's going to be a disaster. And he sees it coming down, and he does this incredible thing to save the day. He blocks the fall of this mic, this big speaker. And it hits him in the head a little bit, but he gets it back on its legs. Oh, and he saves the whole lives of these people in the front pew there. But it's hit his head a little bit, and even though it's just a superficial wound, any little injury to the scalp, you know what it's like? It's gushing. There's blood all over. And he's got this thing back in it, and he's taking this blow, and he staggers back, and he bumps into the boom mic, and the boom mic swings across the altar right to the back of the statue of St. Patrick, hits him in the back of the head, and knocks his block off. And the head of St. Patrick is bumping down the stairs into the middle aisle of the church. And he needs to save the day here, so he's holding his head to keep the blood from spurting, but he's going to pick up the head that's rolling down there, and he has to let go of his head for a little bit, and blood is going all over the place. He picks up this head, and he reheads the beheaded good St. Patrick here, and he looks almost good enough for wear, except he's already bloody, and his head is a little tilting on it. And all that crazy business, anybody who was in the front, and all the girls could see what was going on, and everybody's watching this debacle, this farce going on. And so nobody's paying attention to the singing except the people in the back who've got their programs, and they're singing the second and third verse of, and would you believe it, by the time they finish the third verse, St. Patrick has been reheaded, and we're about to launch into the fourth verse, and the girls lead it, and it is just a beautiful ending to this lovely ceremony. Now, the timing was impeccable. So when I heard this story from Dale Jarvis, I thought, this is one of those stories you hear that's told by someone's, third cousin, twice removed, and they swear it's true, and it's just some, So I go up to Dale Jarvis, and I say, Dale, that is a doozy of a tale. I love it, but tell me honestly now. Okay, is any part of that story true? No. And he looked at me, the Intangible Cultural Heritage Development Officer from the Heritage Foundation of Newfoundland and Labrador, looked me straight in the eye, and he said, I was there, I saw it happen. It's a true story. Can you believe it? Now, when you think about sainthood, what are the criteria to become a saint? Well, there's a lot of specific stuff. You have to be dead for a certain number of years. That's no problem with St. Patrick. And then you also have to prove that you have performed miracles. And supposedly St. Patrick is credited with, banishing all the snakes from Ireland. Well, that, in terms of miracles, that's really relatively pretty small potatoes. But the truth is, there were no snakes on Ireland to begin with. So, I don't think he warranted sainthood just from that. But I do think he is totally deserving of sainthood, because I realize what just happened in this thing. He's presiding over this thing, his spirit. 1,500 years later, this good saint is suffering the slings and arrows of bloody humiliation and outrageous indignity and performing miracles to protect the honor of his Fogo flock. Okay. All right, well, so I introduced you to a little bit to the Ode to Newfoundland. Would you like to sing an ode too now? And if I give you the words, you don't have to, I have the words here for you. Now, we know that Irish love to drink. Okay, so we have to have a drinking song in the show. Don't you think we should have a drinking song in the show? Okay, you know the tune, and I'll show you the words. And you can do it, we're going to do it twice. You have a chance to get it right the first time, and then we'll do it all together. Ready? Dough, the stuff I buy beer with. Ray, the guy I buy beer from. Me, the one I buy beer for. Fa, a long, long way for beer. So I'll have another beer. La, 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 la. Tea, no thanks, I'll have a beer. And that means I'll need more. Dough, dough, dough. One more time. Dough, the stuff I buy beer with. Ray, the guy I buy beer from. Me, the one I buy beer for. Fa, a long, long way for beer. So I'll have another beer. La, 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 la. Tea, no thanks, I'll have a beer. And that means I'll need more dough. Okay. You woke up for that one. All right. I haven't done any instrumentation here. I'm going to get out my guitar here. Oh, wait, it shrunk. It was out in the snow. This is a song about an Irish snowman. So you're going to, you did really well on that sing-along, right? I'm going to have you learn the chorus of this song too. It's not rented out. You just have to listen really carefully. And the first time you hear the chorus, you're going to say, there's no way I am going to learn, that is too complicated a chorus. But you can have several chances to do it, and by the end you'll have it. Trust me. There was a handsome snowman named Michael John O'Grady who fell in love on a winter's morn with a very nice snow lady. She gave him a kiss on his frosty lips and then they had a cuddle. But when things got a bit too hot, they turned into a... Here's the chorus. It's cold being a snowman. It's Frosty standing here. My teeth, they chatter like a chimpanzee. Oh, what I'd give for a nice cup of tea. I'm a chilly, cold, Frosty snowman. You think you're not going to get it, but you will. Stick with it. Yeah. In the middle of the winter, the snowman got quite bored, so he thought he'd take a holiday to a sunny land abroad. He wasn't frightened of the sun, he thought he'd be okay, but he went for a swim in the deep blue sea and he melted cleaner. Help me now, try it. It's cold being a snowman. This is the fun part. It's Frosty standing here. My teeth, they chatter like a chimpanzee. Oh, what I'd give for a nice cup of tea. I'm a chilly, cold, Frosty snowman. There was a snowman climber who climbed a snowy peak, but he didn't feel like climbing down because his legs had got too weak. But snowmen are quite clever. On the mountains you can spot them. They turn into an avalanche and slide down on their... Help me, it's cold being a snowman. Ready? It's Frosty standing here. My teeth, they chatter like a chimpanzee. Oh, what I'd give for a nice cup of tea. I'm a chilly, cold, Frosty snowman. There was a snowman who played the ukulele, and though his fingers froze to the bone, he played his concerts daily. He thought it was a small guitar, for once he had been told that things get bigger when they warm up and shrink when they get... Help me, it's cold being a snowman. It's Frosty standing here. My teeth, they chatter like a chimpanzee. Oh, what I'd give for a nice cup of tea. I'm a chilly, cold, Frosty snowman. You have one more time to get that chorus. You're going to try another. So pity the poor snowman out in a winter storm with an old top hat and a skimpy scarf. That's all to keep him warm. He'd just as soon stay warm inside by the fireside, warm and snug. But if he did, he'd turn into a wet patch on the... Last time, help me, it's cold being a snowman. It's Frosty standing here. My teeth, they chatter like a chimpanzee. Oh, what I'd give for a nice cup of tea. I'm a chilly, cold, Frosty. That part again. Chilly, cold, Frosty snow. One more time. Chilly, cold, Frosty snowman. You did pretty well. And we even had an Irish dancer joining it here. That was beautiful. Okay, here's another little Irish ditty. There's a lot of bogs out in Ireland. There's also a lot of bogs here in eastern Massachusetts, southeastern Massachusetts. So, anyhow, this one takes place on a bog. And you all know the story about the Princess and the Frog, right? That's a classic. Well, this is a different take on that whole thing by Michael Peter Smith. Okay, so. One day a beautiful princess was walking on the bog on a slab of peat. Who should she meet but Fred the Talking Frog? Well, top of the morning to you, lass, what a welcome sight you be. I'd be glad, you know, if you stop a mow and listen close to me. You see, I've been bewitched and I'm needing a royal miss, such as your lovely self, to give this ugly mug a kiss. Such a metamorphosis will then ensue, I tell you true. For I'm really a former prince, and I'll straightway marry you. To me rightful, Johnny go dare him, higgledy-piggledy, down and around to me, high-low, harem skim, riding a white horse to Cranberry Town to be toady. Sometimes I get bloaty, whining and dining on bog juice and bugs. For to dance by the sea with a princess and me on a cheery Sunday morning. Aren't you glad you don't have to do this chorus? Yeah, okay. Well, what does she say? What? She says, Well, I've heard that song and that dance before, and you tell it very fine. But if it's to kiss you're after, well, you have to stand in line. For there's frogs outside me father's castle, frogs inside the royal hall. Frogs is climbing through the window frogs, frogs are bouncing off the wall. Frogs is floating on the moat and up the stairs and on the shelf. If I had to kiss every one of you, Lordy, I'd have no time for myself. But laddie, let's make it swift, for lately falls the hour, from due at home from my evening shift of pining in the tower. To me rightful, Johnny go dare, higgledy-piggledy, down and around to me, high-low, harum and scarum, let's take the carriage to Cranberry Town to me, toady, don't need a floaty, when lily pads are just a hop, skip away, for to dance by the sea with a frog prince and me, on a cheery Sunday morning. Well, she's just about to kiss him, when Mrs. Frog comes hopping by. Says, Fred, you're late for supper. Coming, dear, was his reply. You mean he's not bewitched? Oh, just odd, says Mrs. Frog. And into kissing princesses he meets upon the bog. And though I love me Fred, I fear he chafes at family ties. I'd invite you home for supper, me dear, but we only have 2 flies. Thank God you didn't kiss him. Today's your lucky day. Till I kiss Fred, I was a princess too. That's how I got this way. To me rightful, Johnny go dare, higgledy-piggledy, down and around to me, high-low, harum and scarum, let's take the carriage, dance to the jig to Cranberry Town to be toady. Don't call him Grody when he's fishing for kisses from princesses' lips, for to dance on a bog with an impostor frog on an Irish misty morning. To dance by the sea with a faux prince and me on a bleary Sunday morning. For to dance by the sea with 2 princesses and me on a cheery Sunday morning. Hey, I think we have time to do two short ones here. I love. Isn't this beautiful? I want to learn how to do that, and I think it's a good excuse to do a song for you about the Fillory Man. A Fillory Man is like a leprechaun, and I did this. I have a show that I do every Friday morning for kids, and online. But most of the people who come watch me are actually like 65, 70-year-old kids, because we're all kids at heart. So they love this song, so I'm going to do it for you too. I'm going to teach you how to do the Fillory Man. They have pointed ears. Can you show me some pointed ears? I am the wee... And you know what the Fillory Man does, the leprechaun? He makes shoes for the fairies. So we're going to... Here's a fairy, and we're going to tap, tap, tap. Can you try that with me? Tap, tap, tap. Thank you very much. And we're going to cut and we're going to sew. Can you help me? Cut. No one's going to help me? Can someone answer the phone, though? You cut and sew. And then the fairy queen is going to unwrap them and go, ooh, she's going to clap, clap, clap. Can you try doing that with me? Oh, yes, the phone is going to... All right, so... And here's a sign for Ireland. There's a potato. There's a sign for an island, but it's an island full of potatoes. So try the chorus with me. I am the wee Fillory man, a rattling roving Irishman. I make the best, finest shoes I can. I am the wee Fillory man. Want to humor me and try that with me? Try that. I am the wee Fillory man, a rattling roving Irishman. I make the finest shoes I can. I am the wee Fillory man. On fairy shoes I tap, tap, tap. I cut and I sew, and then I nap, nap, nap. The fairy queen will clap, clap, clap when she takes the shoes from the rap, rap, rap. Here's the chorus. I am the wee Fillory man, a rattling, roving Irishman. I make the finest shoes I can. I am the wee Fillory man. The fairies pay with gold. Here's a sign. Pretend you have a gold stud in your ear. Janet? And that old gold. And there's stories that are told. You can try this chorus with me. The fairies pay with gold, gold, gold. The gold that is so old, old, old. Many stories have been told of the pot of gold that I hold. I am the wee Fillory man, a rattling, roving Irishman. I make the finest shoes I can. I am the wee Fillory man. Well, if he's got a pot of gold, you know, some other people are going to want to make off with it, so they try and get him in a trap. That's going to be your part here. And they think maybe if it's hidden, here's a sign for treasure. Can you pretend you're opening up a treasure and a map here? When people hear me tap, 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 they try to catch me in a trap. They think I have a treasure map, but I'll never say where it's at. Oh, and we'll do the chorus. I'm fair, I am the wee falloryman, a rattling roving Irishman. I make the finest shoes I can, I am the wee falloryman. One more time, the first verse. On fairy shoes, I tap, tap, tap. I cut, I sew, and then I nap. The fairy queen will clap, clap, clap when she takes her shoes from the rap. Last time I am the wee falloryman, a rattling roving Irishman. I make the finest shoes I can, I am the wee falloryman. Good job there. I have one more song. It's going to take 2 minutes. 2 minutes. And you know this song already. But you're going to act it out with me just like you did. You did a beautiful job here. Thank you. So we're going to be part of McNamara's band. And what are we going to do? We're going to play the drums. Can I see your drums? 2 different kinds of drums. There's the snare drum, and then there's the bass drum. And then there's the cymbals. Can I see them? And you're going to play the pipes. You're going to pump them up with your bassoons. The bassoon. And then you're going to play the flute. So, here's the chorus. My name is McNamara, I'm the leader of the band. And though we're few in number, we're the finest in the land. Oh, we play at wakes and weddings and at every fancy ball. And when we play at funerals, we play the march from Saul. Oh, the drums go bang, and the cymbals clang, and the horns they blaze away. McCartney pumps the old bassoon while I the pipes do play. Oh, Hennessy, Tennessee, toodles the flute, the music simply grand. A credit to old Ireland is McNamara's band. Oh, right now we are rehearsing for a very swell affair. All the finest annual celebration, all the gentry will be there. Oh, when General Grant to Ireland came, he took me by the hand. Says, I've never seen the likes of McNamara's band. You ready? Oh, the drums go bang and the cymbals clang and the horns they blaze away. McCartney pumps the old bassoon while I the pipes do play. Oh, Hennessy, Tennessee, toodles the flute, the music simply grand. A credit to old Ireland is McNamara's band. Oh, me name is Uncle Julius, and from Sweden I have come to play in McNamara's band and beat the big bass drum. Oh, and then I'm walking down the street, the ladies think I'm grand. Say, oh, that must be Uncle Julius playing in McNamara's band. Oh, the drums go bang and the cymbals clang and the horns they blaze away. McCartney pumps the old bassoon while I the pipes do play. Oh, Hennessy, Tennessee, toodles the flute, the music simply grand. A credit to old Ireland is McNamara's band. Last verse. Oh, we're going to try this one. Oh, my Bunny O'Brien left here, but her name is in this one. Oh, I wear a bunch of shamrocks in a uniform of green, and I am the funniest looking Swede that you have ever seen. Oh, there's O'Briens and Ryhans and Sheehans and Meehans, they come from Ireland. But by Yiminy, I'm the only Swede in McNamara's band. Last time, oh, the drums go bang and the cymbals clang and the horns they blaze away. McCartney pumps the old bassoon while I the pipes do play. Oh, Hennessy, Tennessee, toodles the flute, the music simply grand. A credit to old Ireland is McNamara's band. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Terry, for inviting me. Enjoy your St. Patrick's Day.
Just a word. I just lit your centerpieces. I hope you like them. Very cool. It took me a few hours to put them together, to figure out how we could do a beer mug in a floral display. So there's an envelope in the on the glass, and if someone would take the envelope, and inside the envelope you can open it, and there are tickets inside. So everybody at the table, take a ticket, and then let me know. I'll let you know who's the winners on each table. And they're going to take that centerpiece home. Now the centerpiece, let me explain, has a battery inside the glass, and you will have to, you can turn it off and turn it off by just putting your finger inside, as I did, to turn them on, turn them off. It has 2 batteries. I would suggest that when the lights are no longer lit, if you use the battery up, that you lift the flowers very carefully and take the batteries out, and you can use it from year to year with whatever decoration you'd like. And anyone that got the Christmas jars that I made, please take the batteries out. The device that's inside that holds the batteries holds 3 batteries, and it has a timer. If you leave the batteries in for next year, they will corrode, and therefore it will destroy your timer, your battery pack. So if you want, you may return them to me at any time. Call me, I'll pick them up. I will take the batteries out and I will reset it for you for next year. So just keep it in mind, if you leave it in, they'll be destroyed. You won't be able to use them next year, because once those batteries corrode, that piece is gone. That battery pack with the timer is a little expensive. And fortunately, I was able to get some, enough to do the table. So we look forward to using them time and time again. So does everybody have their tickets? Yeah. Okay. You missing one? You're missing one. Give, okay. Give her one. Okay, that's all right. Use what's there. Everybody? No. The brazen thing. Can I? Okay. No, you don't. No, she does not. Okay, table 1. The one who takes home the centerpiece, the last number on your ticket, is a 1. The last number of the ticket is a 1. She gets it. Okay, Sue got it. Table 2. Does everybody have a ticket? Okay. The last number of your ticket is a 2. Joe got it. Here it is. Okay. Table 3. The last number of your ticket should be a 3. Who got it last time? Last time. You won last? Teddy did. Right. Okay. Table 4. Who? Got a 4? There it is. That's yours to take home. Okay. Table 5. Last number of the ticket should have a 5 on it. Everybody watching? Table 5. The last number of the ticket should be a 5. Is Shirley's ticket a number 5? 4. Who's got the 5? Nobody picked the 5?
No, table or brought a 6. I don't have a 5. Table. I got a 6. Well, I got a 5. Then
yeah, there it is. She's got it. Dot's got it. I know it should have been there. Okay, Dot. Okay, table 6. Who's got a 6? It's yours. Very good. Table 7. Do we have a 7? Last number? Who got the 7? Do you want it? No. Okay, so there's no 8. So let's go back to 6. Who's got 6?
right here.
Who has 6?
At table 5. That's table
No, at the end. Last number is 6. Last number 6.
What do you want to put your thing in?
Who's got it? No? Somebody should have a 6. Oh, but that's not it. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, let's go back to 5. 5. So she's got 0. All right, let's do this. The numbers.
You need help or you
Go with 4. Yeah, who's got a 4? 4. There you go. That's yours to take. Now, Okay. The flowers that are in there, I just set in. In order to keep the light on it, I tried. Okay. You're going to be taking the centerpieces home, just so that you know. The flowers are in there loosely, because I was not able to put something in the bottom to hold them, as I have the battery pack in there. So in order to put this out, don't stand them out there, the wind's going to take them away, and don't tip them upside down. Make sure that you hold them upright, and you can be careful with them, and they shouldn't move. Everybody happy? That's it?